what are the realistic expectations for this team next year? 23-59 they were a year ago.
I think the Pistons certainly have a chance to possibly push for a play-in game and perhaps even an 8th seed in the playoffs if they truly go crazy there.
One thing we got to remember, the East is the new beast.
Braylon, I want to come to you with this first. This team is young. This team is exciting. This team has a lot to learn.
Yeah.
This team is very athletic. This team is on the rise. But what are the realistic expectations for this team next year? 23-59 they were a year ago. Of the 82 games they played, they only won 23 of them. Is there a win total in your mind that is acceptable? Is there a win total in your mind that you would like to see? And you can't say winning the NBA championship. Not next year.
I think, to be honest, I think 32 would be acceptable. I think 32 is around the realm where you say, hey, you know what? Look, they took a 9-game step in the right direction. You see it'll be a second year next year for Jaden Ivey. It would be a second year. Well, you get what I'm saying.
Yep.
It will be the end of his first year. I think it would be a good first year for that. Cade Cunningham, it would be his second year as a leader. I think Saddiq Bey was fine and established his role this season. I think that's what his job is. Saddiq Bey step up. Saddiq Bey step up. Saddiq Bey step up. So I think 32 would be the acceptable number. I got him at 38.
And again, Sean, this isn't, we don't even know who this team is yet.
Yeah.
I mean, what is today? June 24th. So we've still got about 13 days, 2 full weeks before the free agent period starts.
The reason why
trades.
The reason why I said 32 is I think the acceptable number, and the 38 is where I had him. Cade Cunningham is beyond his years as a leader. Mm-hmm. Like, you watched him starting in camp last year, like he was leading, and they wanted to follow him. They had no problems. There were no little quarrels. There were no little skirmishes, at least nothing that came out. They followed him. He was very vocal. Like, this guy gets it. He didn't talk about being what did they ask him after the first 13 games? He said, I don't want to be the rookie of the first month. He said, I want to be the rookie of the year. I want to be the player of the year. I want to be what they need me. You saw him defer at times. You saw him step up and score 27 points in a half when he needed to. So I think last year you saw what he could be as a leader, and that's why I think 32 is what's acceptable after what I saw out of him. Now you add Jaden Ivey Jalen Duren and maybe some more pieces in the free agency like you meant. I realistically think 38 is what they're going to do, and will they have the capacity so far to do.
Sean?
Yeah. Absolutely. I'm right in foot and step with Braylon in the sense that I think an acceptable thing is anything over 30 wins. You want to see progression. You want to see us go into a different step. I mean, this is a team over the past 2 years that has combined 43 wins over 2 seasons. I mean, the first 1 year was shortened due to COVID, but obviously still not where you want to be. I think anything above 30 wins is an acceptable season for them, but I'm going to go with 35, 36 wins. You're looking at about what kind of teams are holding that record this past year, and you're looking at teams like the Wizards, the Knicks, and it's like, I think we can be better than the Wizards next year. I think there's certainly room for that. So you look at who's around that area. You look at who's in that bubble. I think the Pistons certainly have a chance to possibly push for a play-in game and perhaps even an 8th seed in the playoffs if they truly go crazy there.
And that's another thing why I think 32 is acceptable. And I got him at 38, but I think 32 is acceptable because one thing we're not talking about, one thing we got to remember, the East is the new beast.
Yep.
This is not the old East. This isn't the one LeBron was dancing on for years and years. The East is real now, and that's who they're going to play against. Their division alone is tough as nails. So I think that's why you look at 32 and you look at them. If they can win 32 games, like he said, I think they're going 38. My twin says 35, 36. But if they can be competitive in those games, if you can be competitive in those 48 to 50 losses and win 32 games, it makes sense considering what the East is as a powerhouse now.
I want to get the YouTube chat involved. Mark Royal says 45 wins. Randy Ballin, Balin says 35 is realistic. Yeah. Not making the playoffs as currently constructed. Cole Colkin says 40. Cube says anything close to 500. 3M are right. Super young. No real vets unless you count Kojo or Kelly O. Duke Nokem, 42. Benjamin Foe, 33. I am going to say 43.
I knew you were going to say over 500.
And I'll tell you why, though. 43 wins. This team is $34 million in cap space this year. So I do think they are going to make a big splash in the free agency or a sign and trade or something like that to get a marquee player here. Whether it be DeAndre Ayton, whether it be Miles Bridges. I am not a Miles Bridges guy. I think he's super athletic. I think he's a very good player, but I just think he stunts the growth of Saddiq Bey and Cade Cunningham to me, because I might not know anything, but that's how I feel about it.
Yeah.
I just don't think you need him. I don't think you need to spend your money there. Personally, I could be wrong on that. I'm okay. It's just a sports opinion.
I love it how I can understand why you say that. You don't see Miles Bridges as a all-star type player. You don't see Miles Bridges, like they were trying to say about KD, making a team better. You just see Miles Bridges as an athlete. You see Miles Bridges as having, he stepped outside. He can shoot a little bit this year. He's athletic. But you don't see him as a guy, he's going to change our franchise. I can understand that.
Yeah, I feel like you got Saddiq Bey. You don't need to go spending a max deal on Miles Bridges.
Yeah.
That's how – it's not so much about Miles Bridges as much as it is I'm high on Saddiq Bey. Right. I think Saddiq Bey can become Miles Bridges. So you got that guy here already. Don't stunt the growth. But 43 wins to me, just quickly.
Go ahead, please.
43. Last year, Charlotte got into the play-in game. They were the 10th seed in the East, 43 and 39. So you said the East is the beast. You got to be above 500. There's no 10 game under 500 to get you into the play-in. You're going to have an above 500 record. I'd love to see 43. I'd love to see this team sneak into a play-in next year, even if they lose. Sneak into a playoff. I think that would be incredibly. That would be an incredible jump next year, because I just don't think they're done.